Wow, Mia, you get the honor of recording my first podcast in here in 4 months.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're not even going to pretend like this is normal.
This is not normal, no.
No, we're clearly in a different
location.
In a different location. So a little backstory. We actually recorded episode 5 about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I'm not going to go into detail about what we talked about. But basically, I told an embarrassing story. And while it's still funny to this day.
It's a funny story, yes.
Right. Watching it back was terrifying.
But you're a very open person, so you being so open and then listening back and you're like, oh.
I was like, oh shit, is that what I sound like every time I'm an open book?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to be an open book. No, but I told an embarrassing story I didn't like on both of our ends. We watched it back and we were just like, absolutely not.
I checked out. Honestly.
My embarrassing story literally took Caesar so far out of reality that he was like, no, we're not doing this.
And I thought, I was like, did I smoke too much? I was like, no, you were fine. It was the stories.
We also had a friend of mine in and watching us, and maybe that had something to do with it too.
We also had my business partner in the room, not necessarily listening, but like in the next room. And the stories, it wasn't like, let's just say they were, about, stuff that normal people do.
Right.
Bodily functions.
But
you have to go into the bathroom.
Right.
There you go. It was a story about going to the bathroom, and you don't have to get into details further than that.
No.
But it was just really graphic.
Right. So it's like, and I think that's so interesting because in that episode, I was like, okay, you've been doing this for 9 years consistently. Is there anything new that you've discovered in doing this podcast? And you were like, well, it's different from anything I'm doing. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. I've never done this before. So there's a balance that I'm like starting to realize of like, how open do I want to get? Mm-hmm. How open should I get, even if I really want to? And what's some shit that can actually just stay out? And we pushed all boundaries in that episode.
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry. I pushed all boundaries in that episode. But again, we also talked about in that episode that it was the last time we were going to be at that studio.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. This is the new setup for, indefinitely.
Well, for now, for this studio, for this episode, we could try other locations we talked about as well. This is Hits 101 Radio. This is a radio station that before we had that new studio that we recorded the first few episodes at, I recorded out of here for 9 years, or 8.5 years, but now it's been 9 because I've been back now. But yeah, so we're here. It's a little bit a smaller setup, but you get to look at us like a little bit closer.
Right.
Look at us. It's like Mia's like right there.
Right. But you know what's so funny is like I'm so used to a monitor being like in front of us. So I'm like, bitch, you look good. I don't know. Like right now.
I could plug it in.
No. That's going to make me self-conscious. And I like the mystery of not knowing. I think that's better. But we haven't recorded in a little bit just because with Caesar not having that studio anymore, we've been figuring out and we took a little break for a second.
but not for you, the viewer.
Yeah, no, not for you, the viewer, because we don't ever do that. But the last couple weeks have been so crazy. But the last week for me in specific, and I want to talk about it because it literally is just mind-blowing. Okay, so have you ever seen Handmaid's Tale?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay, like do you know what the storyline is?
Yeah, Carla watches it.
Love Carla. So it's my favorite show ever. And I do this thing where I just like rewatch shows a million times in a row. Mm-hmm. This is my 1 millionth time rewatching it. And it just never gets bad. And every time I watch it, I just get angry. I get angry. I get anxious. And every time I'm like asking people if they've seen it, they're like, I don't want to watch it because it scares me. Yeah, you should be scared. You should be scared. We're getting political.
Oh, God.
You should be scared.
One episode too many of the show already. I'm just kidding.
But every time I watch it, I'm just like, I start to think about all these things like in our system that like very well could get us to that point. Hope to God not.
Yeah,
but you know,
we're on our way.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. Like so much stuff that they talk about in it is so relevant that it's terrifying, but it just makes me so angry and I love it. It just makes me so excited. But when I think about the systems and stuff, it makes me think about our healthcare system and like being a woman. And I just went back on birth control. I'm not on any birth control right now, and let me tell you why. I took this birth control last Wednesday. And I'm a really like sensitive, reactive person. And like I've been on some form of birth control for like a really long time, but there was a little bit where I wasn't. So now I decided to go back on it. And the first day I took it, I was like, 4 hours in, I don't feel anything. Like this is wonderful. I think this is finally the thing that's going to work for me. The next day, shit show. I've never had a migraine before. I got a migraine. Were you there when I had to leave early?
Did I miss what kind of birth control?
No. Oh, it's just like a regular pill.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just orally.
Okay.
And yeah, I got a migraine the second day that I took it.
Damn.
Like the gnarliest. I've never felt pain like this. And maybe this is like pussy shit. But like, I'm like,
You're gonna get a lot
I got a migraine because I took birth control. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna get women in the comments going, honey.
Right. Have you given birth? But no, it was terrible. I like went to work. I had to leave work early because I was throwing up.
Oh, wow.
I was nauseous, literally like so dizzy. So I left and I went home, threw up so much, just like had the gnarliest migraine ever and was so out of it. Next day, I didn't have a migraine, but threw up everywhere.
Damn.
So I am not on the birth control anymore.
You stopped right away. Yeah, yeah, of course. Why would you
and the reason why I take it is because I get 2 periods a month.
Wait.
If anybody knows how the female reproductive system works and cycles work, you're supposed to get a period a month.
Yeah, not 2.
I'm getting a period every other week.
Damn.
All I want, you listen to me, is to not get pregnant and to just have a normal period. Yeah. And I had to just put my body through the ringer.
Damn.
How is that fair? And then I watch Handmaid's Tale and I'm like, fuck the patriarchy.
It's true. Yeah.
Fuck the patriarchy. I love being a woman, but I also hate it. Like, it literally is just the most annoying thing ever on the planet.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's literally, right. Right. Like, it's so brutal and terrible, but I've been off it for a couple days, so I'm fine now. But it literally just, like, makes me think about all of these things that are just so wrong with the world. Like, why am I, like, with all the experience I have, not making as much money? Why are things still, like, why is it getting to the point where, like, no one will be able to live in California, no matter if they have a degree, even if they have a consistent paying job? Kids? Do I even want to bring a child into this world? Like, it literally, and so I finished Handmaid's Tale again this morning, and now I have FOMO from it. Like, I am like, end of show, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Sadness? Like,
it's done. That show's done, right?
It's coming back, but not until 2025. And they have one more season.
Dang.
But you best believe that when that season comes out in 2025,
you'll be there.
I'll be there.
It's on.
And it's all I'll be talking about in every episode in the year of 2025. So get ready for that.
We need to start the show.
No, I know. That's what I was going to say. After a long-winded explanation of my vagina, here we go.
Yeah! All right.
Yeah!
Well, that was part of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now...
Yeah, you think... If you take that out, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be angry.
Okay, so this is Decade Dialogue.
Decade Dialogue, episode 5.
I'm just trying to get you to say the name. That's all.
This is Decade Dialogue, episode 5. And we're going to start you off with a fit check.
Yes.
I'm going to go first because I usually force Caesar to go first. And I'm just not really
You're excited about your outfit today.
I am, but I also don't really feel like being dommy mommy right now. I kind of want to just kick back. Wait, wouldn't it be dominant if I just said, never mind. I'm basically just not forcing you and I want to go first.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There's not a wide angle anymore. I'm
I guess you could stand up.
Well, I'll just paint you a picture of what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing this white blouse. It's from Reformation. It's my mommy's. And when I wanted to wear it today, she actually got a little bit mad at me and was like, I just got that dry cleaned. Oh, wow. I don't want you wearing that. I was like, Mommy, but I have to record. And she's like, oh, right. Okay, you can take it. And I was like, okay. And then I'm wearing these white linen shorts. They're from Brady Melville. The Brady Melville documentary is coming out tomorrow. And I'm going to have a watch party with my Brandy girls.
I'm going to be on that shit.
And I'm wearing this jacket. This is my dream jacket, everybody. This is a Japanese souvenir jacket. The accent. Japanese souvenir jacket. There we go. It's reversible. It has the most beautiful embroidery on it.
Wow.
And I've been looking for a jacket like this in this colorway for so long, literally since I was 12 years old.
I see the combo. Yeah.
And I have another souvenir jacket. I love them. And it's black. And it's such a classic piece. But this one is just, it's my dream. And it came into the store that we work at. And our coworker actually put it on hold for herself. And I was like, if you don't want that, it's mine. And then we ended up trading, essentially. I sold her one that I never really wore. And she gave me this one. And I bought it. And then it was basically free with all the stuff that I sold and some leftover stuff that I had. So I got this jacket for free.
Gotta love it.
This jacket is worth $500. So who's wearing the most expensive outfit in the room?
Well, not me, but good for you.
And then these are the shoes that I'm wearing. They're from The Row. Oh, nice. They were a lot of money. I got them when I was quitting my job at Sephora, and I afterpaid them, and these shoes are $800. Jeez. I was in no position to afterpay anything, but I did. And then you saw when I disgustingly shoved my foot up in the camera. But I'm wearing mesh socks. Nice. And I just look like such a Pinterest girly. I told Caesar before we started that I've literally been wearing this outfit for 3 hours, and people have been coming up to me when I've been out and been like, you look so good. And I'm like, thanks. I know.
Well, great. That's a good one. For me, I am just wearing this sweater. I like the sweater. I think it's the first time I've worn it on any podcast. And then this bolo tie that I got at our job as well. It has that turquoise thing. Let me see if I can. Yeah, they can see it. Yeah, I love this bolo tie. It's a great shirt. I like wearing it. I'm wearing my Brixton pants that I've worn before. I'll post a picture of my outfit. That way I don't have to stand up and do awkward poses like my friend just did here. I'll just show you a picture of it. And yeah, I just wanted something that's relaxed and it's a little Western inspired. And I like these colors.
You look like such an Orange County cowboy.
I like that.
And I love it.
I think that's my look. I'm going to go for it. Sometimes.
I love it.
Sometimes it's a retired skateboarder that has never skateboarded in any kind of great way, just for fun sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, just kicking the board around with the bros.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even push it, you just stand on it.
Yeah. Drinking 7-Up.
Yeah. Caesar is such a goody two-shoes. Everyone make fun of him in the comments.
I am, yeah.
No, he's a bad boy. He just doesn't like to show it. He's a Gemini. You guys be fucking careful.
You're right about that. Yeah. I am a very petty person. But I'm working on that part of myself to not act out like that.
It's okay. You can. It makes for a more interesting human being.
It's true, but I've noticed lately that I've been leaning on just being selfish and not caring even about obviously maybe one or two people in my life. Obviously Carla, I'm always going to consider her feelings.
And obviously me.
And you and Mondo, but I don't know, there's a lot of people that I'm just I was like, I'll figure it out. And if I did them wrong, like
I think
they'll
that's
be all right.
fine. I think that's perfectly healthy. Why would you waste a bunch of energy on people that you don't really care about?
Well, no, there's sometimes where I'm late to meetings and I'm like, they'll wait for me or something like that. And I'm like,
you should fix that.
yeah, that's not good.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
We live and we learn.
Yeah.
And so long as we're still alive, we're learning.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to be a better person, but I'm like, I feel like I'm leaning too much on just like, I'm just going to do things my way and it doesn't matter. But at the same time, that's like you were saying, it's good. There's this movie I watched, Problemista. It's about this guy. He's an immigrant from El Salvador, and he's young, and he's trying to get his visa to work here in the United States. And then he gets fired from his job, and he's looking for somebody to sponsor his visa. He starts working with this lady, and this lady, she's a very artsy and really interesting character, but in public, she's like what stereotypically somebody would call a Karen.
right.
And so, but she does things her way the whole time. And like you're seeing, okay, she treats people like shit sometimes, but she gets what she wants.
Right.
And it kind of rubs off on him a little bit. And he learns like, yeah, it's okay to like put yourself first sometimes. So I'm like, yeah, but where's the limit? And
where's the boundary?
Yeah, and
where's
that's
the line?
that's where I worry. Like, am I pushing it too far one way? But at the same time, people are like, no, you're fine.
Right.
But sometimes maybe that's the point, is getting past that point of overthinking that boundary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But also at the same time, again, it's like you very clearly said, I'm giving the energy to the people who I care about.
Yeah.
And, the other things I'm still working out and still trying to find that line. I think that's so actually like disgustingly normal and healthy. Like, you're like, guys, this is a problem. And I'm like, you're actually killing it. I wish I could find that balance of like, and especially like at times I envy you because you've gotten to this point where you found your person, and like obviously like the work doesn't stop once you're married and settled down, because you're still trying to find that balance of like, okay, we're married now, like, how do I still remain a separate individual and not just have my marriage, and I still need to have a life outside of that. It's hard to, and I'm obviously you experienced it when you first started dating your wife probably, but it's like, what's the level of like, okay, I love this person, I care about this person, but how much energy should I be putting into them? And how can I remain selfish within myself still and independent without making this whole person my whole world? And that goes along the lines of like, even like with jobs. It's like, yeah, I love my job, but like, how do you not make it your whole world and still have a life outside of it? I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm learning something from you, my friend.
And even when you're outside of it, when you're trying, you finally make that time to be like, okay, I'm not gonna, even with recording, sometimes I make that my whole life, and that's cool because it's my passion. But I need to be able to talk to people about stuff that's not at that.
Right.
So I go out and try to have conversations with people, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about any podcast today. I just want to talk and try to connect with somebody in a not in that way.
Right.
And I always lean back on that, and I'm like, what? Trying to figure myself out beyond that is tough too. Because I've tried, like you said, with the relationship, like Carla and I have experience, and we talked about that in our podcast as well, where we want to be able to respect ourselves and like honor that we are people outside of our marriage too. As much as our marriage is strong, we love each other, we want to be together, we need to still keep our individuality still. And so I've had that balance now. I'm thinking I'm getting to that point, but now it's about all the other balances that come along with it.
Right. God, existing is hard.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get a job, go to school, maybe potentially start a family, go to therapy, work out, drink enough water, eat really healthy, maintain a social life, try not to become poor and homeless, while also, be around my family as much as possible, maintain a romantic relationship, also have a...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
It doesn't end. It doesn't end.
It doesn't end.
Yeah.
It doesn't end. I truly do think we were put here by aliens and they're just watching us and laughing. Because they're like, you really thought that you could handle all this?
Oh, yeah?
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. And it's fine.
And it's funny because they say, I don't really believe that money's going to solve all your problems, but like, if I didn't have to have like any...
You know
who
said that?
About money,
people with money.
Exactly. It's real because that's how all these people that you see, famous people, they have good lives supposedly. It's because they have unlimited time now because they make their money, or they the thing they're doing. Like if I had to do all I had to do was podcast, I would have such a great life all the time. Because then I could work out
Right.
And still,
I could actually, I don't know, do something else and I didn't have to like slave away. And then by the time you're 65 and retire, oh, guess what? You get $500 a month.
Capitalism,
$500 a month?
Capitalism. And that's the world we live in. And that's what we're trapped in the cycle.
God.
Yeah. So, you know what? Eventually, I'm just going to, just get a lot of debt and then just be like, you know what? I'm not going to pay this off. So,
you know what I realized though? And guess who's coming? Finley. Me and Finley talked about it. Being in America, you genuinely have to be in debt in order to get what you want.
Because of building credit.
What? Make that make sense. I have to be in debt to get what I want and then spend the rest of my life trying to pay off those debts. Sometimes
just let that sink in for a minute.
I'm just gonna, there's nothing I even have to say more. You take that and run with it however you want. And if you want to spin it into a scandal, I'll take that too. I'm trying to get famous.
Yeah, we need to manufacture some kind of like.
Do you like care about the eclipse?
No.
Neither do I. That's so funny. I'm like, literally, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
What is
today's Tuesday.
Yeah. It was yesterday, the solar eclipse. That was literally going to be dark for 4 minutes. Not for 4 hours, but 4 minutes. And everybody was like, everybody on Instagram, you go on Instagram for like 3 hours, everyone's just like, it's so dark.
It was like
I don't care.
As dark as like a cloudy day.
Right? I'm not even kidding. Like my dad came home and he was like, "Oh, did you catch the eclipse?" And I'm like, "No, I just thought like a cloud went over the sun." Like I was like, I don't even care that I missed it. I don't even care that I missed it. And then everybody's posting pictures and it's like, you can't even see it. And it's like, really? That's what you get, like, so
it's like
weird.
A little shadow. It's like
people will literally just do anything to be like, I saw that. They're like waiting until they're 80 years old and their kids are like, Mom, Pop, were you there in the
eclipse
on the solar eclipse day? Yes, I was.
Oh wow, you're so cool.
Yeah, like what?
They're gonna be on whatever version of TikTok is in the future. Going, my grandma was at the eclipse. Check her out. And then they're gonna do the filter where it's like grandma with sunglasses.
Right. Air horns. Like I just don't care. I don't. I mean, like I'm kind of an astrology bitch, so like I like the shit. I don't care if I see it. But do I like reading dumb astrology stuff that's like...
I don't think it's dumb.
I, on some level, swear by it. And then when I catch myself, like, reading it, and I'm like, I believe them. I'm like, you know what? Ew. Take a step back. Take a step back. It's never that serious. Yeah. It's not. I love the universe, and I totally believe that's, like, what, holds us all together. Yeah. But... it sometimes is so broad. Like I was like just reading stuff about the solar eclipse and it's like every single sign's going to be affected by this. They're going to get so much money. You're going to get everything you want.
If
You're
it was read to me in that voice, then I would be like, okay, maybe.
And I'm like, where's my money? It's the day after the eclipse. Where is it? Where'd it go?
I'm not rich.
I might be slaying, but where's my money?
I might be slaying.
Where's my money?
You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
Is that really what it said in your horoscope?
Yeah.
You're going to be rich?
And like the other thing was like, oh, like you're going to be able to, any type of people pleasing like tendencies that you have are all going to diminish. And like, you're going to ask for what you want and you're going to like stay true to yourself. And it's like, on some level, I think I'm there. But like the other stuff, like that just seems broad. I think everybody has people-pleasing tendencies, and like
it'll give you stuff. I feel that way too. Where it's like,
right,
this is like stuff anybody can relate to, so you can't be like, oh, it's not true.
Right. And there was a point in time where like I was obsessed with reading my horoscope, and like anytime I feel like I'm kind of lost, I get like sucked into astrology just because like I don't conform to any other religion. Like this makes more sense to me. And so like I was literally going down like a spiral of like each time we got into a new month, I was like going online and like trying to look up my monthly horoscope to see if anything would like coincide with the shit that I was dealing with. And I was like, just let it be.
Yeah.
Just like kick it. You don't need to figure out what's going to happen to you. You're fine. But do I fully believe when I read stuff about Virgos that I relate to it? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm such a Virgo.
Yeah. I also believe in the idea of like, you read something and then it like becomes a part of your head. Like you implement it, like you attract it because you thought about it. So like the Gemini thing where it's like two-faced. It's like, am I really two-faced, or because of the fact that Geminis are two-faced, I overthink my actions and go, yeah, I am two-faced.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. But I am.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
Well, I'll have a story for you based on that.
Yay! Story time with Caesar.
So, not astrology. I guess astrology is tarot cards. Tarot, like somebody reading. Is that part of it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I should know that. So before I started dating Carla, we were just friends. We worked together, and we would do catering events. Serve gelato to people in like public events. And at one of these events, there was like a person that was going to read your cards to you.
Right.
Or I think it was palm. Yeah, I think it was something more specific, because the cards will tell you like, oh, this something's coming up in your life. But the psychic was reading my hand, and she said that the person I was dating, who I was in a relationship at the time, as soon as I stop being with them, I'm going to find the right person and they're going to be like the one. And so that happened in like the summer. And then in September, I broke up with that person I was with. Right. And then like 4 months later, Carla and I started dating. And that's...
to be Caesar.
So I don't know. In some ways, I feel like all that stuff's all connected, and so I don't know. Like I get these feelings sometimes where I can predict something's gonna happen.
Totally.
And I don't know if I attract it or if it's all connected somehow. Yeah. So that's why I have that faith in astrology and just believing in the universe, just because it's worked out for me so far.
I completely agree, but I've also, on the subject of tarot reading, I have gotten one professional tarot reading in my life, and the stuff that she said was gonna happen, some of it did. Like, she predicted the guy I was gonna be dating. I ended up dating him. And she said it like in a really weird way too, where she was like, you're gonna meet him through somebody mutual, but it's not gonna be a friend. And I was like, okay, I'm unemployed. I'm only hanging out with my friends. That's like really weird and specific. It was my cousin's childhood friend.
What?
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then there was a bunch of other shit in it that like totally rang true, like in coming months. But also at the same time, like a lot of that, like all of those things that she said, some of them came true. But even the stuff that came true, she also said like that guy, she was like, he's going to be the love of your life. You're going to get married. You're going to have babies. Yeah, that worked out real well. I'm on boyfriend number. I don't even know how much.
Hey,
so
no, I don't want to go there.
No, what were you going to say?
Well, how did it end with that guy? Did it end in a way where you're like...
It was fine.
So it didn't end in a way where you're like, I never want to see this person again?
No.
So not discounting your current relationship, obviously.
Right, but
you're saying it could happen.
I guess it could. Because it didn't end badly. It was just more so like we were just at different places in our lives, and we were just like, you know what? Like, I think it was one of those situations where like we should have just been friends, but we like enjoyed each other's company so much, like we knew how to have a good time together. So we were just like, oh, so that obviously means be in a romantic relationship. No.
Yeah.
Just be friends with people.
Yeah.
My dad literally always used to tell me, the more that you like somebody, just be friends with them.
True.
Don't be in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
If you genuinely love being around this person, don't do that. You're gonna ruin it.
Yeah, I mean that's always the risk when you can do that. Try to take that step with somebody, and even with me and Carla, like it was years of us being friends, and then getting to that point where all right, like let's do it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not always how it works out.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I've seen it happen so many times, and doesn't work out that way. And it could make it really awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't help it being on either side of both sides of it, where somebody catches feelings.
Right. That's also the other thing where I'm like, oh God, but like at the same time, like if you do love somebody's company, at least for me, like I feel like I'm such an intense emotional person where like most of my friendships feel romantic because I'm obsessed with them.
No, yeah, no.
So it's like you've seen it. So it's like I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to like differentiate okay, should this just be a friend or is this someone that I should take a chance on? But maybe that just in a deeper sense, I should be friends with people before I date them.
Before you.
Whatever, it's fine.
We're all learning.
We're learning. Yeah. We're learning.
Speaking of dating, do you want me to tell you why I got banned off Tinder?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Caesar's a bad boy.
Yeah, so as we didn't mention, I guess last episode, you said that I was in an open relationship, and I'm in an open relationship with Carla, and I just thought that, in Tinder, I just wanted to be an open situation, even open communication, where I'm like, hey, this is what you're getting yourself into if you're down for that, this is the opportunity.
Right.
And I didn't know you couldn't do that on Tinder, and I got banned.
I didn't know that you couldn't do that on Tinder. Can you do it on other dating?
Yeah, because when you're signing up, it asks you if you're a single person or a couple.
Did you sign up by yourself?
Yeah, but I tried to change it. It didn't let me, and I'm like,
never mind. Caesar's not a bad boy. I thought this story was gonna be like, yeah. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. I just thought it was gonna be worse. Okay, and Caesar's just like, yeah.
It was just some
The open relationship that I have with my wife is like super healthy, and like I just like didn't sign up for like a open relationship account. Yeah. Okay.
I also no. The thing is though, I'm kind of relieved that I got banned off of that because it bothers you all the time. Like when I finally started talking to people on there, I was like, okay, I'll turn notifications on to see if they reply.
Yeah.
But Tinder's like, hey, bro, what are you doing? You're not liking people.
Do you want to upgrade for $5.99 to actually be able to do anything on the app?
Yeah. This ends at 2:15. It's 3. It's 1:50 right now. You have 25 minutes. 5 minutes left. Like Jesus Christ.
Insane. Yeah, dating apps are annoying, and most of the time, because I never really liked them and I never had that good of luck on them, this is psycho shit. I would hide the app, hide it on my home screen, but like literally make it disappear. And like I wouldn't be able to find it unless I like searched it in my phone. Stupid. Why did you do that? What was the point? And then would also keep the notifications off. So it was like out of sight, out of mind. And unless I was like down bad, then I could go like, then I would have to voluntarily like go try and
type
find it.
T-I-N-D.
Yeah. Right. And then I was like in the midst of me typing it being like, you don't need this. You don't. You're just dry down bad.
Put it down.
You don't need it. And like all the times that I like wanted to casually date or I like sign up for dating apps, it was solely because I like wanted to understand hookup culture. I like applaud the people who can just like, hey, you live 15 minutes away, wanna fuck?
Yeah.
I'm an aggressive person in the sense where like I don't care. Like that to me is like next level confidence and aggression to be like, let's just cut the bullshit. You're hot. Let's have sex.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Which is crazy because I feel like I could never do that. I'm down to do it, but do I want to be the first person to
initiate and be like, yo.
No.
But yeah. And that's the thing is like I always thought that I couldn't do that because I wasn't part of this beautiful people club because good looking people, they just get together and they just can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so annoying.
And so honestly. I thought finally at this point I could, get myself to that point to be part of this club because I know I got the looks to be in the club.
Of course.
But I'm not the person that can take that step and be like, yo, let's get this going. I can't.
I don't want to either.
Yeah.
It used to freak me out.
Even in a polite way to like phrase it to somebody, like, oh, just say something casual. Like,
right. Like, do you want to hang out? Like, we should hang out tonight.
Yeah.
You know what we're doing.
Yeah. But then here's the thing. Okay. I'm in a situation. These episodes come out later on, right? So how do you know? How do you know if they are expecting that? Because I'm in situations now where I'm like, hey, you want to hang out? Yeah, let's hang out. So what does that mean? I don't know. And then I get there and what expectations are there, like, if you go on a date with somebody, how do you know, like, they have to tell you it's a date? So I'm just gonna be like, let's hang out, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, all right, it's a date, and then there you go. Now there's a clear expectation of like, this is a date, this is a romantic situation.
Right. I mean, for example, the first time that I met my current boyfriend, I assumed that it was a first date and was like, okay, this is our first date. You met
him on a dating app.
Right. But like, it's not like he was like, he didn't even say like, oh, like, do you want to hang out? Like, he was like, oh, like, let me take you out. And so I'm just thinking, okay, this is the first date. To this day, he's like, that wasn't a date. Then what was it? He's like, we were just hanging out, like I was getting to know you, and then like if that, didn't work out, then like it was nothing.
Yeah.
It was still a date. Oh, just because you like, were maybe thinking that it was like not gonna turn out good, you can say that you didn't go on a date with me? Yeah. Like, what does it matter what it's called?
But he's saying maybe in his head it wasn't.
But he kissed me at the end of it. So I'm like, what the fuck was that? Oh, we're just hanging out? Is that what you do when you hang out with people?
You're going to take the L on that one, man. I'm sorry. If you kissed at the end of it, then even if it wasn't at the beginning, at the end, it was a date.
It's a date.
It's a date.
100% it's a date. So like, I think, that's some, I replayed it in my head and I'm just like, you really thought. Also, it was just so, like, there was just such a vibe. Like, I think automatically, like, you can just pick it up.
Yeah.
But like, if you say that like you are, I mean, I do understand where my boyfriend was coming from of like, let's just say that we're hanging out, just so, like there's low expectations, and then like if we're down for each other, then we can have like our anniversary date is like technically what I'll say is our second date, but he'll say it's our first.
Okay.
Because I passed his test and we were able to actually go on a date. But yeah, like I was always just like, let's just go on a date. I was never like, let's like hang out.
Yeah.
What are we, 13 years old? Like, you can say that we're like actually adults. Like, we don't have to like pretend that we're just like, we have secret crushes on each other. Like, I don't know you. Let's just say, let's go on a date. If you give me a kiss and you don't stop kissing me,
then it's a date.
Maybe we fucking.
I want to make that a drop. Maybe we fucking. I don't know what.
But like, I don't know. I think it has to be like, there has to be some type of buildup.
Yeah.
In order for.
And you got to feel that chemistry.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be palpable. Like if you're hanging out with, if you're on a date with somebody, I know I'm conforming to these things.
I've been in situations recently now where I've talked to people that I've met in public, and you do feel that vibe.
Right.
So yeah, and if you're trying to force it, then you're not just you're admitting to yourself that it's not really there.
Right. But also at the same time, that's what freaks me out about people who like immediately jump into sex. It's like, for me, I have to feel it out a little bit. Like, am I even, like, I can't just look at somebody's picture and be like, I'm sexually attracted to that guy. Like, no.
Oh, really? You can't do that?
No. I can be like, yeah, you're attractive.
Because for you, it's a whole, but not even in an objectively just physically way. You can't say, oh, that person's good.
Physical attraction and sexual attraction are completely different to me, though.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, I can physically look at someone and be like, yeah, they're sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
Do I want them? Well, I was gonna say, do I want them in me? That's fine. That can go in.
Yeah.
Keep that in.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I can't just do that. Like I have to be physically like
that makes sense.
In front of them. I think it has to be mental first. Yeah. Like you have to stimulate me through like you have to make. This should never be a thing either. He made me laugh. So like, have you seen those memes? There's like, he made me laugh. Now I'm on like child 4 with him. Like it shouldn't be like that either. But like there's certain things that lead up to the buildup of sex. Like I feel like normal people need that, or then it just starts to get so animalistic. Like I don't know, just like it just seems like too normal. And maybe it should. I'll never know. I know I can never do the hookup culture thing.
It's tough because I feel like the only way that I've ever gotten to a point in a relationship where that could happen is by starting off as like friends and then building a relationship from there.
I envy you for that. So, I've never done that before. Ever.
Yeah. So now it's like in hookup culture trying to participate in it. And it's like, well, how much of this do I need to how much of the energy do I have to give to this, and how much of a relationship do we have to build to get to the point where like is it just going to be physical? Is there going to be like, I don't know, like it's tough to navigate this world. Especially this is like, to me, this is like dating on like expert
This
mode.
is just like an hour of us not realizing that the world is upsetting. Literally the whole start of this, I'm like, I can't even take birth control without like throwing up everywhere. Fuck the patriarchy. We're gonna die and burn in California. Now we can't even figure out how to do hookup culture. Like, it shouldn't be that hard.
The name of this show is like, we can't figure shit out.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I was gonna have you evaluate in one of the conversations that I can't show you now because of Tinder. I was gonna have you evaluate whether, because that is a case where I was like, okay, yeah, this person's physically attractive, but there's nothing going on upstairs in the head, and I was like, dang, what like finally somebody finally like responds to me. We have a conversation, and they're a dud.
At least you did the correct thing, because also in the last episode that we're not releasing, I talked about the one time that I was going out with this guy that I met on Hinge, and he was so boring the whole time, and I still just like was bored and was like, okay, let me just talk to this guy. Let me just like hook up with this guy. Maybe,
but, I mean, maybe there's a line. Maybe there's a line there where it's like you can fake it enough where they're interesting enough to keep you there. But I guess not in the case where I was at, where it's like, yeah, like maybe I don't want to be with this person forever, but it's all right. Because that's kind of what I was looking for. Just a little messiness. Just a little messiness where I'm like, oh, I can.
You got to have the messy.
Go in there for a little bit, enjoy what it's like to be in a toxic situation, and then be like, all right, well, deuces. This is not for me.
But even for you, I feel like you could never allow yourself to be like in something truly toxic, at least anymore.
No.
And I'm like still young and dumb enough that like if I'm single again, oh yeah, you bet your ass. Yeah. I'm gonna get messy.
I've noticed a tendency now that so that when I broke up with, I was in a long-term relationship before Carla and I started dating. I broke up with that person, that girl, and then I was in a place where I was very emotionally immature after it.
Right.
And then when Carla and I decided to change our relationship, I also was like, okay, now I'm in this world again, and I felt like a new person in this world, and I was emotionally immature, and then I got caught up in a situation that was not, the best. So it just sucks to always be naive, because after a while you're just gonna get used to being with somebody.
Yes.
Whether you're breaking up or you're exploring in that situation, it's like you still have to start fresh.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah. It's like that's the worst part about it. Like, I feel like I've dated so many people now that like at this point I'm like I kind of know what's going to happen, but I also need to get out of that mindset, because not every relationship is going to be the same. And I feel like I have this horrible habit of like going into a relationship the exact same way that I did previously, even though it failed. Yeah, that's smart. Break the habit, honey. Yeah. Break it, because it's not working for you anymore. Nope. Don't do it anymore.
But now you would say you're in a good place now, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's just so like it's just like easy and normal. That's like it's refreshing, right? It's just like, oh, we have our routine established, and like it's just he fits into my world good and I fit into his world good, and we're still individual people.
That's good.
So that's all I could ask for, being this young and being in a committed relationship. So
true. But back to what you said about Sean when he said he was testing out the situation before. I feel like that's smart.
Yeah.
Because you go, the test date or whatever could be like, hey, let's have a drink. And then you're there for like an hour. And I've always heard this now because I produced a lot of shows where people talk about dating. And they're always like, go somewhere where you have to leave at a certain time, so then you get a little taste of what it could be. And if you really like that person, then you make plans for a second date. And I think that's smart.
It actually is really smart. But then I just
call it a second date.
I know.
It is a first date, but maybe that's what first dates should be. Yeah. Short and sweet.
Like, they should just be testing the waters. They shouldn't be this like whole grand ordeal, especially if you don't even know the person that you're like about to be spending time with. Why would I like put myself in a situation where I couldn't like immediately run out the door if I had to? And I think, and like we were both in the same mindset of like, we weren't looking to like be in a relationship with anybody.
Wouldn't even take the receipt from me.
Right. He was like, nah, I don't need that. Yeah, no, like we both, like when we met, we both had a conversation. We were like, this is crazy that this is happening because I like you so much and I was not expecting to. Like I was fully just expecting to like maybe have a drink. Because we both were in the same situation where like we were online dating and like, you know, we were kind of just hooking up with people and like testing the waters with people and kind of just like hanging out and seeing and kind of just like messing around. We didn't expect to actually end up liking anybody because we had been on so many horrible, boring dates and meeting just like the worst people ever. And it's just so weird how stuff like that turns out.
It's all worked out.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Creepy weird.
Wow. We really did a deep dive on dating this episode.
Yeah, we really did.
Complicated world.
It is a complicated world. That's the name of the episode.
It's
a complicated world. So just for everybody's future reference, if I am on Instagram stories and I ask you to ask us a question, answer it.
So for people that don't know,
ask us a question.
People that don't know, I mentioned it before we started recording. I've been podcasting for 9 years. I, on a consistent basis, creating content. Started just audio and video, and now we're here. And this is Mia's first podcast. Is this your first creative endeavor that you're putting out to the world like this?
No. I used to be a YouTube girl.
Oh, okay. Well, then you understand.
I do understand.
Motherfuckers will tell you, oh, it's so great, but they'll never tune in.
Right. Well, you know what's interesting is when I used to do YouTube, I actually was I wasn't famous and but people were very supportive. Like people who I had never met before, like strangers, which I thought was really cool. And then even people that I used to know who I'm not close with anymore. Like they were like, I think it's so cool that you're doing this. Where's that support now?
Maybe this show just sucks. I'm just kidding. No, and I also think that for a podcast, you have to let it grow. You have to go through the pain. But that's with
anything. It's even in those, YouTube videos that I used to make, I was letting it grow, but for some reason, because I was just I think in those YouTube videos too, I wasn't me. And it's almost weird that people like that about? More. Just girly shit. I love makeup. I love fashion. The video that blew up for me was I did what I wear in a week working at Brady Melville. And literally because it said Brady Melville in the title, that blew up. It was my most viewed video. And I think it had 5,000 views on YouTube. Nice. And I also used to record myself singing and put it on there. All these videos are privated now, so nobody try and pull that shit up.
Damn.
That's a funny podcast episode. Rewatching my old YouTube videos.
Let's do it.
That's disturbing.
Next week.
I haven't even shown my best friend.
Oh my god, we're sitting on this gold mine of content. Right. Talk about dating for an hour. Give me that next.
Oh god, I will say I am a really good editor.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Really good. I did some funny I don't think anyone actually knew that I was kind of funny back then. Genuinely. So when they were watching these videos, I think they liked that I was doing girly shit, but then subliminally with the editing, I made it funny. Wow. Now I'm just really funny. So I can just naturally do it. And it's not I'm very entertaining, but the way that I edited it was very chaotic and all over the place. And I feel people maybe they need more stimulation.
Yeah. So you were doing those edits before there was even a thing?
No. I mean, this was in the time of
because you're not that young. Old.
I am very young.
I get what you're saying. I feel that way when I look at the high school projects that I did that were video projects. I'm like, dang, they were so good and I was so funny. And I was like, what happened to that guy?
The world, existence,
the past hour,
life. Yeah. Literally, that's it. That's what did it. Yeah. That's why you're a different person. Yeah. But yeah, I used to do that, and I don't know why, but I guess we're gonna let this one grow.
Yeah.
I guess we're just gonna let this one grow. Yeah. But anyway, if you don't ask me a question, I will cry. So please don't make me cry. But we did get a question. when I asked politely. So this girl who asked is amazing. And she said, what is something you love or value now that you would have never imagined loving in the past? That's the first part. Why don't we just answer that real quick?
So I'll start, I guess, and it goes along because you just asked me this like an hour ago. We started recording, and I've been thinking about it. And I think that for me, I took for granted just the fact when I used to live at home with my mom, like just being able to like walk over and be like, "Yo, like, can I ask you a question real quick?" And I didn't ever really cherish the availability of just having your parent there at all times whenever you need them.
You fucking took mine.
Oh, that sucks.
God damn it. But it's good that we're talking about this. That's interesting that we picked the same one.
Yeah.
But keep going. Explain it a little bit more. So then
I moved out in 2019, and then you notice, I mean, anybody that's moved out, that obviously you're not spending your day with your mom or your parent because you don't see them on a regular basis. And so now I feel like I cherish every minute I spend with my mom because I make the effort to go out of my way to like pay attention and hang out with her. And back then it was just like, oh, she's just there, like whatever. But now it's like, no, everything has to be intentional. And like we don't see each other very often, but when we do, we always like pay attention to each other and like, try to, like, it's tough.
Yeah, no, that was mine. But also going along the same kind of line is like just where we live. I like fully used to take that for granted. And like growing up was just like, because I live in like a smaller city and it's bordering on a bunch of other ones. And it's pretty conservative. And my family and I are just not conservative. And so I never really connected with the people. Like I never really connected with the city. And like literally for as long as I can remember, I was always just trying to find a way to not live in my city or even just like shitting on Orange County. And I was like, it sucks here. Does not suck here. It's so wonderfully clean. It's so beautiful. The fact that we have the access to drive 30 minutes and hit the ocean, but then drive an hour away and hit the desert and then drive another hour away. Mountains. And hit.
Yeah.
What? That is insane. Sunny all around. I don't have to put fucking. I'm not a snow girl, but like
Yeah, you have to just plow the fucking driveway, whatever the hell that
and
is.
It's like making
That's
sure
how
the
much
engine.
we don't know.
Yeah. Like making sure the engine doesn't freeze. Like we're so lucky to live here. And like I moved back in with my parents, so like I was the same way though when I was living on my own. Like I took advantage of because I'm from a big family, and so like it was noisy, and I'm really used to noise. And like even if someone like isn't constantly talking to me in my house, I can still hear things that are normal in my house.
Yeah. And
to live alone and it be silent, brutal. Absolutely brutal. So I completely agree with you. Where I am never gonna take advantage of my mama again because she's my freaking guy. Same with my dad. They're my little guys. And Orange County is now my favorite place to be. You'll never catch me moving out of Orange County again.
Same. I have an inverse. I have something that I cared about that I don't care about anymore.
Okay.
So
wait, that's the second part.
Yeah, that's the second part.
So what is something you dislike, don't value now that you loved and valued before?
Yeah. So I used to care so much about like, hey, I really like this album by this artist and you have to like it too. And if you don't like it, then I don't like you as a person. And also the idea of like, oh, there's like music that's good, and if you like bad music, then you suck. And I used to be stuck up about it, and then eventually I'm like, it doesn't matter. Whatever brings you joy, whatever brings other people joy, like that's on them.
That goes crazy.
It's true though.
Wow, someone's a Gemini. Okay. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're fucking nuts. Wow. Okay.
What can you explain with the wows?
That's just like that, like I just can't even imagine like looking someone in the eye and being like, you don't like this, you're dead to me. Wait, that's kind of what I'm doing with like the people who like our stuff but then don't follow us.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like you're crafting it, your passion. Okay, if somebody's like, fuck your shit, then I'd be like, okay, fuck you too. But it's like, oh, I love Beyonce. If you don't love Beyonce,
Right.
it's like, Beyonce doesn't care about you. She does, and like she'll take your money, you're a fan or whatever, but she's not gonna come to your house and help you out.
No.
And but that's how. But I see it all the time. Still happen people where they're like, oh, you listen to. Before early 2000s was popular again, you'd be like, oh, you like the Backstreet Boys? Like, that's gay and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, the fuck?
Right.
Like, who cares?
Literally, who cares?
Like, I like this music.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say is like, I'm tired of that attitude in the world.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
Or like people that
It's either
dislike.
the douchebag.
Or like people that dislike or the people that like Marvel movies one way or the other. They're like, oh, those movies suck. Like, that's not real cinema. It's like, who cares if people enjoy it?
I mean, I'll definitely say that I'm the type of person that's like, I don't like Marvel. But I'm not over here being like, oh, you like Marvel?
That's what I'm saying.
You're disgusting.
Yeah, that was me like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's the thing that's crazy to me is like, you were out here being like, cut a bitch off, cut a bitch off, cut a bitch off. Like
it's
that.
Just, I felt so passionately about things, and I still do, but now I know that
Which that's
it's okay
wonderful
for me
that you're so passionate about things, but it's okay that other people aren't as passionate.
I know that now.
Good. I'm like talking you down. I'm like, baby, it's okay. It's okay.
No, yeah. So, but if you're like that, you need to reevaluate that. Like, just make sure that, let people like things. It's okay.
What is something you dislike, don't value now that you loved and valued before?
Yeah.
God, that's tricky. Probably a lot of stuff. I feel like I am constantly overanalyzing of like stuff that I used to be really into or like away. Oh, I got one. When it started to become a culture of like, I'm going to love myself.
Okay.
I feel like, I guess that's what I'm kind of sick of. Is like when people want to adopt a mindset or a lifestyle and they're saying that they are all about it, but they're not actively doing anything to represent it. I feel like I used to be that person. And I used to really look up to other people who did the same thing, where it's like they're just talking a bunch of shit and they're like, I love myself. I'm going to be a better version of myself. Yeah. I'm going to do all these things that are better than you. But then they're out there doing the worst possible things for themselves and to other people. Yeah. And like, I'm no saint. I've definitely hurt people's feelings and said wrong things and just haven't been a good version of myself. Yeah. I'm sick of that. Let's leave that behind. And it's like, I'm sick of people just talking. I feel like I used to be a talker too and like wouldn't actually show up and do anything. Yeah.
No, I can think of people like that.
I'm over that. I'm over that. I'm such a private person now. Like, unless I'm telling you the plot, you won't know. Yeah. You won't know.
Well, yeah, private person to some degree, but
yeah, I did tell Caesar that I shit my pants, but
that was what last episode was about that we deleted.
But it's fine.
And now we're back.
Sorry, Starbucks.
And then we brought it all back to the episode
in a healthier way.
Yeah. But I have to say, yes, I agree with what you're saying. I dislike those people too. But what was I going to say? Oh, we'll give you the deleted episode if you give me $50. I'll send it to you. I'm not above that.
Honestly, if we put out this episode, I would go viral.
The shit girl.
Genuinely. The diarrhea girl. The woman who takes too many laxatives.
I feel like at this point,
we should just no! See, that's what's funny, though. They don't even know. It's just for us. Unless Caesar hates me one day.
And just leaks it.
Yeah.
Or like you get
and then
famous
the title of is it, Gotcha, Bitch.
It goes up on YouTube like that. It's like we have a falling out. The podcast is over.
Right.
Years later, like the channel's inactive. And then just one day you blow up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get you.
Gotcha, bitch. I love that. Yeah, no, it was a wild episode, but I'll say that this episode is way better than the one that we recorded a couple weeks ago.
T-shirt idea. Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, this is a great episode. Make sure to follow us on all the platforms at Decade Dialogue.
All the platforms.
TikTok, Instagram. You can
TikTok, Instagram.
YouTube.
Spotify.
You can watch it on video on Spotify.
You can watch it on video on Spotify. Or
if you don't want to see our faces, you can just listen to the audio.
If you don't want to see our faces, you can just listen to the audio.
Exactly.
This is Decade Dialogue, where we talk about everything and anything and completely, absolutely nothing at all. We love you.